Tennessee picks up a huge commitment, and Jesse, probably the biggest commitment of this 2021 class in the form of Dillon Brooks. As we approach the month of May, Jesse, Tennessee needed a little momentum, and Dillon Brooks is the Kickstarter.
Oh, man. I mean, this is an unequivocal slam dunk for the Vols. I think you can make the case, as big as the addition of Harrison Bailey was in the last class. Obviously, the way Tennessee closed with Henry To'oTo'o and Quavaris Crouch, Darnell Wright in the 19 cycle, excuse me. Tennessee needed this juice in this class right here. And the fact that they didn't really have a blue chipper in the class, they now have that. They've been trying. We both know, we've discussed it. They've been trying to get into Yellowhammer State with T. Martin, Derek Ansley, Pruitt, Sheriff Friend, all these connections on the staff. This is the first time they've really gone in there and beat out Alabama, Auburn, and LSU for a dude. All three of those schools, wanted. Huge get. Position of need, high upside guy, a lot of room to grow, but you can already see kind of the tantalizing skill set there. They're going to have to hang on to him. It's going to be a battle, with Auburn and some others kind of still lingering. But just a huge get right now for the Vols to land Derek Brooks.
Yeah, I mean, with this current staff, I mean, you could argue, they beat out, Auburn for Wanya Morris, Ramel Keaton, that was an Auburn-Tennessee battle, James Robinson, Auburn-Tennessee battle, along with Mississippi State. This is the first time they beat out Alabama for a kid, especially in that state. It just doesn't happen very often. And I won't say that this is going to be a trend, but at the same time, I think if Tennessee can translate success on the trail to success on the field, it's going to, in turn, circle of life, this thing right back to even more success on the trail.
Yeah, and Brooks's coach spoke to that about kind of the relationships and the comfortability that the staff has. I think winning is going to obviously bring more of that. This could just be a one-off, and I think that could totally be the case, because who knows if T. Martin's here next year? Who knows if Derek Ansley gets a head job in a couple years? But for this 2021 cycle, I do think Tennessee is positioned to take advantage. Can they land a Jeremiah Williams, another blue chip, player from the state? They've already gotten Jordan Mosley, the second best recruit probably in the class right now. But this is a crop that I think we both agree that Tennessee needed. You see the NFL draft, 16 or 21, of the 30 guys are 4 and 5 stars. They needed some real blue chip shine on this class. Stars may not be everything, but they have proven to be pretty darn important for some of these teams that are in the playoffs each year. Tennessee just got one of the top 50 players in the country.
He obviously knows Jeremiah Williams, but I think there's also a connection there, even if it's distant, with a guy like Jahvaree Ritzie, who respects Dillon Brooks' game. To see a guy like Dillon Brooks leave the state of Alabama when Auburn has success, Alabama has success, the other finalist was LSU, the defending national champs, does it make it easier to make your own choice and not follow your buddies to North Carolina for Jahvaree Ritzie?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. Dillon has kind of gone against the grain here in the terms of he's leaving his state during this pandemic when most people seem to be staying closer to home. Now, Tennessee's actually closer. Knoxville's closer to where he's from than Alabama. It's a longer drive to Alabama. It's a much longer drive to LSU. And the fact that Brooks had made so many trips up here, I think that comfortability just made it a slam dunk. Obviously, he has a position coach at his high school that played college ball with Derek Ansley at Troy. That connection helped a lot. But to
the family members in Farragut.
Yeah, and to your point about Ritzie, we'll see. I think the longer this goes, Tennessee's got a better shot. If Jahvaree, gets the itch sooner than later, one would surmise that he would, stick to play with his buddies in North Carolina. But you know me, I'm someone that advocates that in the end, most of these kids are going to do what's best for them and their families. And so these sorts of little decisions may be, on the periphery, but ultimately they're going to make their own choice.
So when you look at this position, Jesse, where else do you feel like Tennessee's got to land a guy? Is it Jeremiah Williams? Who else do you like in that edge pass rusher?
I do think Jeremiah Williams is a guy they've circled big time. And Part of that is relationships, and he's been up here twice, and that's important. Part of that also is some guys are off the board. Damian Robinson, who the Vols would still like, committed to Maryland. Seems like it'd be hard to pull him away from Loxley in that group. Elijah Judy, a guy who's long, kind of similar in frame to Dillon Brooks from up in Philadelphia. He picks Georgia a couple weeks ago. And then can they pull Small London, out of South Georgia and not get him to go to UGA? I think that's going to be an uphill climb. So I like them for Jeremiah Williams in terms of being positioned best for, a blue chipper to kind of pair with Brooks on that outside linebacker spot.
And don't forget now, he's been rumored for North Carolina, but Tennessee has had some lengthy conversations with him lately. Travali Price, another defensive end hybrid guy over there in the state of North Carolina, another person to watch at this same position. So Tennessee, big pickup on this day as they pick up Dillon Brooks and the class of 2021, Tennessee's biggest commitment so far. For Jesse Simonton, I'm Austin Price.